This video is made possible by the following mad lads. All their awesome gear they supply to me can be checked out in the description below. Hey guys, I exclusively post Nissan GTR content now, and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for another video. So if you guys missed it over the weekend, I got to do something that I never thought I'd get to do in my lifetime, and that was buy one of my dream cars. I now own a Nissan R32 GTR. And of course, since then, I've had about 40,000 messages saying, Jimmy, you've got to take it to the Nürburgring, you've got to go drive around the Nordschleife and see how fast it will go. And whilst I may do that in the future, right now, I'm going to be doing it in sim. So in front of us, we have a 1994 Nissan R32 GTR, 1 year younger than my car and not quite in the right colour because that doesn't exist in the mod, unfortunately. This car is powered by the 2.6 litre straight 6 RB26, complete with twin turbos, and if you believe this thing produced 276 horsepower when released, so that figure was probably nearer to about 320. The car is all-wheel drive and featured the high-cast system, which was essentially rear-wheel steer, but I don't think it's included in this version of the mod, but beggars can't be choosers. And the car weighs in about 1,430 kilograms. Now, whilst this car is a stock R32 GTR, it does differ very slightly to mine because my car in real life has a few modifications, mainly just handling modifications, so strut braces, roll bars, fatter tyres, different suspension, that kind of thing. But in terms of power, they are pretty much exactly the same. Although in my car I do have a boost controller, so I can turn up the boost ever so slightly, but on the stock turbos it's really not pushing the boost much at all. Otherwise you could end up just shattering a compressor wheel, which is usually very bad news for the engine. Now the time to beat for this car is the time that I set in the modded version of my MX-5, the Turbo MX-5. Now that did a time of 8:27.3, so I'm very much hoping that this R32 GTR can go faster than that. But let's go find out. I'm going to pop on my VR headset, put myself in the seat of this R32 GTR and see how fast we can lap it around the Nordschleife. Okay then, so here we are inside what is effectively my R32 GTR in Assetto Corsa. Now, seeing as I'm trying to replicate my road car, I'm doing two things. First of all, no gloves, because I don't wear gloves when I drive in my road car. I haven't quite got to that age yet. And also I'm using the road compound of tyre because there's a semi-slick option and a road compound, and I want to be as true to real life as possible, so we're going to be on the slower compound for this run. Also looking over to the gauge cluster there in the middle, if the needle isn't above 70 degrees, you do not rag this car. So that isn't really modelled in this, but it's really weird knowing that I'm going to be driving fast and that gauge isn't where it needs to be. Anyway, let's get moving then in our Nissan R32 GTR, and the turbo lag is there, I can tell you that for sure. As we get ready to start our lap, greeted of course by that awesome RB26 sound, which sounds like it might have been borrowed there from the R34 model in Assetto Corsa, but we won't mention that too much. Come around then to start our lap. Keep it in second gear, aim for the inside here, on the power, let the four-wheel steer do its thing. And away we go then for our lap, coming down to T1. Second gear on the way in, of course having to rev match this car. Four-wheel drive on the way out, or all-wheel drive, so the car was kind of understeer and slide out, so you have to let the car do that. Now coming down to hats and back, a little bit of a blend on the throttle and the brake through here, then back on the power again, right to the outside, up into fourth gear. Then heavy on the brakes in a straight line. Trying to be nice and easy through here. Try and keep it in third as well. The gears are very long in this car, so we really only use 4 gears for most of the twisty stuff. We only use 5th for the straights, but trying to keep it in third through here to try and keep the momentum up. To the outside, on the curb a little bit. And again, I'm going to try and keep third through here. Just right in between second and third right now, but this is downhill, so there's no point going down the gear just to go back up it again. And now we get to let the RB do its thing. Up into fourth gear, 180 k's on the speedo there. We've already reached the end of the speedo, so GG, 190 there to the right on the speedo to the in-game. Through the fast right hand, trying to let the car understeer too much through there. It wants to just drift out. The car four-wheel drifts through corners like that. And we'll get over the crest, we'll get up into 5th gear, top gear, and you see how long it is. There's 5th gear, and immediately the revs drop below 6,000 RPM, doing 222 k's to about 140 mile an hour. Brake, down the 4th over the crest here, back on the power to hug the car to the inside, then brake at the change in the tarmac. try and keep it in third through here. Again, right in between second and third gear, but there's no use just going up and down gear in a manual car when it's that close. And now downhill, let gravity give us a little bit of an assist down here, I think. Watch that speedo climb there on the right. Fifth gear, come on! Letting the 1,400 kilos or so just weigh us down the hill. Fourth gear, yeet over the curb. There you go, big old yeet. And then down the third gear and keep it nice and tight and tidy through here. Very easy to lose a lot of time. Down to second gear, we don't really use that much on this lap. Gonna get up on the curb and power out. There you go, nice. Lots of boost in this car, but only about 4,000 RPM. I say lots of boost. Stock boost is about 0.7 bar, so not loads really, but enough to let you feel it. Fourth gear through here, trying to slide it through. Again, heel and toe down to third gear. We'll try and keep it through third through here. Again, right on the edge. You really need a gear between second and third in this thing. I'll try second through here though. A bit of understeer in the way and then power. Power four-wheel oversteer and exit. Love it. There you go. Just about through the first part now to miss. Just miss in this car. Bit of wide having to change gears midway through. We'll try and hold third here. Oh god, bouncing the RB off the rev limiter is very concerning. This thing has a bit of a problem that if you start bouncing off the rev limiter, the oil pump basically can't catch up and engine goes pop. So hearing the rev limiter, even in a sim, makes me cringe a little bit. All this new info I've learned about the Nissan GTR since I purchased it makes you realise just how advanced this thing was from the time. People seem to forget this car is 30 years old. As near it makes no difference, and it's still a car that can keep up with a lot of modern machinery today. Although of course sometimes it does show its age in some areas. It isn't very good on fuel. I think apparently you'll get 25 miles a gallon on the motorway. When doing stuff like this, you'll be lucky to get anywhere near 10, I think. There you go. And now we start the long climb up the hill. And again, just looking down to that centre cluster and seeing the gauge below 70 makes me cringe a bit. Just flat shift it into fourth gear, try and get the turbos spooled. Twin turbos on this, so they are going to give you mega power output, but a little bit less lag on a single turbo. A bit nicer in the mid-range, but we kind of need a bit of high range here. This is when you want to turn the boost a little bit and go, come on, give me some more. Just touching 200 k's up the hill. And again, our time to beat is, I think it's an 8:37 or 8:34, one of those two, but we have to try and beat the MX-5. If this doesn't beat the MX-5, I'm going to be very sad. Easy through there. Again, you want to shift down there, but you can't, the gears are too long. There you go, back over the crest. Really trying to keep as much momentum as possible. It's what road cars are all about. Keeping the momentum when you can. Yeah, easy. Look for our exit. I think you stand the throttle on this car, all four wheels just start spinning if you're putting too much load through them through the corners, and it just means you understeer. Sometimes you use that to your advantage though, through the carousel. You see the car really not wanting to hold on there. On the power though. That could be better, but hey ho. Now coming up to the last section. This is a section where you really want to try and slide the car just a little bit through some of these corners to get the rotation done, otherwise you understeer. Which is not ideal. Third gear for this first part. Probably to touch the curbs too much. There you go, a bit of a slide there. We'll try and run it in third through here. Ideally want to be a gear lower, but the one below us is a bit too low. Now all about having a nice rhythm through this section. Hopefully we can keep it going. Try and keep it in fourth gear. You can hear the blow-off valves there doing their work. Not sure if this thing came with blow-off valves as stock. I know my one has them. Either that or it's just going back through the turbo. Doesn't matter too much, just really concentrate on the driving instead. Third gear is MP3, I said MP3, is MVP through this section. So get on the throttle as soon as you can, keep the turbos working, keep the car going forward. It's really in between through here, but I like using second leg, then just charge it at the exit. That's third gear, come on! Go, go, go! Now plummeting back downhill again. You feel like you have so much extra time when driving a road car around here. You just don't know. Just a different kind of driving. See the understeer initially, I was a bit too fast going in the road tyres, not really appreciating that too much. Right to the exit, up to 4th gear, down the hill, let gravity do its thing. A little bit of a lift through here to make sure I can keep the car far enough right to not go over the curb there. I'm going to try and keep it in 4th gear here because 5th gear is a bit too long. Right at the top of 4th gear, 8,000 RPM there, this makes no difference. And we'll try and keep 3rd through here. Oh, I got a bit too close. I just tried to scrape the curb. I rode it a little bit and it put me a little bit wide. Now 2nd carousel. This corner sucks. I suck going through it. Should have geared down a bit earlier there. And now the oh so important last corner coming on to that very long back straight. A little bit slow through there. Getting a couple of stutters in the VR headset as well, which isn't helping. 4th gear and exit. Just open up the steering gently. There you go. Now it's now a nice long run down the straight. Let's see what this RB can do on its own. Wait for the shift. We'll flat shift it. There you go. 220 k's, about 140, so we might get to about 150 mile an hour or so down here under our own steam, which isn't bad from a car from the early 90s. 232 k's there. I'm going to lose a bit of speed going uphill now. Come on, GTR. What's our time like right now? 7:54. Oh, it's going to be close to beating the Mazda. Come on, GTR, you've got to beat the Mazda. Please. Okay, down the hill. The Mazda, though, did have a better compound of tyre than this, just getting the excuses in early. Really throwing it into the last couple of corners. I would not be defeated by that hairdresser mobile. On the power, and the time is an 8:23.0. Screw you, Mazda, about 10 seconds faster. Here is on screen right now, you'll be seeing our road car leaderboard. This car won't be on there just yet, just because Bailey isn't here, unfortunately, to update the leaderboard, but there it is for context. 8:23.079. Not bad at all for a 30-year-old Nissan, and my word, I mean, I know I'm driving this car in sim, but usually when I drive cars in sims, it's to try and experience something I'll never get to experience, and know that, you know, hypothetically, I could just go jump in my car now and drive to the Nürburgring and do this myself. Probably a lot slower, have a lot more shitting off my pants, but I could do it, and that's a really, really cool feeling. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, as I always do with these Nordschleife videos. If you did like it, then make sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon, because that way you'll be made notified of future streams and of future videos. And as always, a massive thank you to my patrons and my sponsors. And if you're interested in seeing the video where I picked this car up, it will be in the description below. Take care, have an awesome day, and I'll see you all next time.